Hello, I'm Skipper Golston. I joined the choir at St. Elizabeth's a year ago for Lent. And I keep asking, when does Lent end at this church? And they say, well, it never ends. And I started over, and it goes all year round, so there's no way I can get out of the choir at this point. Also this week, Father John volunteered me to do a short devotion for St. Elizabeth's, and I'm trying to figure out how all this works at the church now. But anyway, I decided to use a story and a verse out of the Old Testament from one of my favorite people in the Bible, Joshua. Well, you know, Moses led the Israelites from Egypt to the Promised Land, and he got there and he started thinking, I better check this place out before I just walk in. So he decided to send some men in to explore. And he picked 12 men, one young, strong man from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And he said, you go in there and find out everything you can and bring me back a report. I need to know. So they did, and they stayed in there for 40 days. And they came back, and they said, this land is amazing. It's phenomenal. It's flowing with milk and honey. It has huge fruits. It has lots of food. But they said, there's a problem. There are giants in the land, monster-sized people. And Moses says, well, what do you think, men? And 10 of them says, there's no way. We walk in there, we will be destroyed. We will be annihilated. There's no way we can conquer those people and their size. But 2 men said, wait a minute, Joshua and Caleb. They said, yeah, they're giants in the land, but we can take them. God is on our side. My kind of men. Well, you know, they didn't go in. They wandered for 40 years, and they finally went in, and Joshua took them in. But Joshua impressed me so much until I named my main horse after him. I named my horse I got in 1990, Joshua. He was a big, strong, black, stocky, fire-breathing, stallion Tennessee walking horse that would go anywhere I asked him to go. He had no fear of anything, nothing. And yeah, we got in a few tights. I rode him off the top of a mountain once, and that survived. We made it work. We went through bog holes up to his belly and almost would get stuck and not get out. We had to jump a coiled up rattlesnake on a ledge on the side of a mountain one day because we couldn't turn around, we couldn't back up, there was no way to go. And another time, I had to ask him to dive into the raging Jacks River above the waterfalls in the Cohutta Wilderness because there was no other way to get out of there. And when I asked him that, he finally looked back at me. He rolled his eyes around. He says, you got to be kidding. I said, no, man, we got to do it. So he backed up a step. He launched himself out into that river like a 747 and hit, and we both went under, and he turned upstream and started pulling. And he swam, and he pulled me 100 yards to a sandbar in the middle of the river, and we both climbed out, crawled out on it, and collapsed and lay there like we were dead. And I said, thank you, Lord. And the name Joshua means the Lord saves. So I was glad I had him that day, and we made it. Today, we've got to have the same courage of Joshua the horse and Joshua in the Old Testament. We've got to have that kind of confidence and courage and fire, because yes, there's a John in the land today. His name is coronavirus. But guess what? We can take him. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be terrified, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. May God add his blessing to the reading of his word, and may God bless you and your family and protect your family and keep you safe. Amen.